Good morning, welcome to Scottie Crafts and Wendy's World. Today we're going to talk about Ultra Thick Embossing Enamel, UTEE for short. Scottie Crafts sells this in 3 different sizes. So we have the massive jar, this is my one by the way.
Oh gosh, you better get in quick ladies, you know what Wendy's like.
The next size down is this one, and then the small pots.
Those are really good to start off with, and you just get a couple of them and then
Experiment.
Yeah, it's just such fun.
So with this, I've got some little pieces that I've been playing with here. I've done like a little mini canvas, and I'm going to show you how I achieved the little piece on here. But I've worked out a system to melt it, because we're not lucky enough to have the melt pot in New Zealand. You can use a heat gun. Now I just use our Scottie's pink heat gun, and I basically put it into a little pot and melt it. So that's how I've achieved all these, and I'll get onto that once we've had a look at the little samples here. So these ones are where I've melted it, pushed a stamp into it. Oh, wow. So you pour it onto a surface and then press a stamp. The beauty of the unmounted stamps is you can wrap them around something. So you put your liquid on and then you can wrap the stamp around to get it round, so it'll come round your edges.
Oh, cool.
This one, if you want a more solid piece, because if you do it just on its own, it is quite brittle. It's nice to be able to then add it to a canvas, but if you want a solid piece, use a piece of chipboard. Pour your melted UTEE onto the chipboard, and I'll show you different ways to colour it in a moment, and then just sit your stamp into it while it's still molten, and that's how you achieve that real textured look. Another way is you can pour it onto just any form of decorative paper. I've done it on photographs. It's really, really cool. And what you can do is wet the back and roll the paper away. So this is like a transfer, which is an awesome technique. This one has also been cut with like a cookie cutter. So either that, I've actually surrounded a piece as well, and it makes it quite brittle. And then I love to bend it. So what you'll do is you can hear it cracking, and then come across with a stain and get a stain into there, and it'll go into all the little cracks and crevices.
Oh, that would be stunningly fun.
And then if you want it smooth again, you can reheat it with a heat gun, and it'll settle back to a nice smooth surface.
Okay.
So the little roses, these were just like paper roses or paper flowers. Get the UTEE molten, you can dip them into the UTEE, and then the little sparkle that's on there is our perfect pearls.
Wow, can you see that, ladies, how stunning that looks?
And you just basically take your finger once these have cooled down and just rub a little bit over.
And it sticks?
It sticks.
Oh,
totally.
wow. So that's perfect pearls over the top.
Perfect pearls. Now the other thing, we sell the pinky cell, and you can actually make pour the molten UTEE into the mould, and you can make moulded pieces with all of the moulds that you've made with your pinky cell.
So you would make a clear moulded piece out of...
It will be clear, like this one. This one I haven't decorated yet. This wasn't done in a mould, this was done with a cookie cutter, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
And pressed onto a stamp, which is the little technique I'm going to show. And then you can paint it with like your distress paints, and then you can come along with the distress paints and just add a little highlight over the top. So I can show you that now. So this one was clear, you can see the back of it there.
Yes.
I've painted it with my distress paints. Then I'm coming back over once it's dry, and I can just touch the highlights with, once again, just the distress paints to create...
Doesn't that look
real
lovely?
depth.
And you could do that with a number of different colours over the top of the
Any
black.
colours that you like, basically.
So you can paint that, the base colour now with the distress paint as a background?
Yeah, and then when that layer's dry, come back over it and then use them just like a rub-on. Or, alternatively, you could put your perfect pearls over the top.
Okay.
Which will give you more of a look like the shimmering flowers.
So there are many, many different things you can do with this UTEE.
Don't forget the bezels. You can heat the UTEE in these basically just by putting your pictures in, putting all your little embellishments in. I use like a little sieve like this, which you can get from the $2 shops. Sit it in and heat from below until the UTEE melts. And it will anchor all of your beads and trinkets and bits and pieces. And we sell huge different number of these bezels. I love these bezels.
I
just
do too.
punch little pictures out to go in. There are some dies that you can use to cut the shapes to go into these.
Yes.
So the world's your oyster, basically. Jewellery pieces, cards for on your scrapbooks, mini albums, etc.
Isn't that just lovely? You could use it for your scrapbooks, as you say, or cards, but you can also use it for jewellery.
Most definitely. So lots of different ways that you can use the UTEE. Over here I've actually shown how you can colour your UTEE if you want it coloured right from the outset.
Yes.
So I've just taken some of my UTEE, I've put it into one of these little aluminium pots.
Yes.
Add a dash of perfect pearls. Stick that into your sieve and mount from below.
All right.
You can also use
of course.
the re-inkers. Now this will bubble a bit because it is like a water base, and it's like mixing water and
oil almost.
Yeah, water. That was a good word, wasn't it? I invented a new word there. And that's kind of what you'll get. And don't worry if this goes hard in the container. I've now mixed my colour. I can reheat this.
Oh.
So that is
so
with
you don't
the re-inkers.
waste any.
None is wasted. Here's one that I started to heat a little earlier. So this one I've actually used alcohol inks to colour it.
Oh, the world's your oyster.
But see, it has reset.
Okay.
So I'll show you the heating process, and then what we'll do is pour it over the stamp, and I'll use a little cookie cutter to cut the shape. Oh, Adrian, the flowers as well. Those black flowers of Prima and the leaves and things, they would be gorgeous done in the UTEE.
So we could do it a little bit like these flowers there.
Right, yeah, they'll be like glass flowers, basically.
With any of these flowers.
With any of the flowers.
With the leaves, and I really think that on the black flowers and then
perfect
pearls on the top would look stunning.
Now it's going to take a minute to get this to heat up because I talk so much it did go quite cold, but once again, as I said, doesn't matter. I'm heating from above. Once you get rid of all the crystals, you can heat it from above. If you try and stick the heat gun in from above when it's in its crystal form, you'll shoot it all around the room.
Okay, not a good idea,
no,
so
I've done it.
Underneath from the start, and then once it's molten, you can
work it from the top.
And you can probably see that starting to melt a little bit now as it moves around in that little...
It's quite rapid.
It is.
Once you get it to this point. And a little stirring stick, like when you're melting it, sometimes the crystals on the top don't melt as quickly because the heat's not getting to them when you're heating it from underneath.
Yes.
But, and the sieve keeps the heat away from your hand, so the little metal pot does warm up a bit. I'm just going to move it around to make sure that I'll be able to pour it, because there's a little layer underneath there. And it's just, all I've got is just an ordinary stamp here. You could use any stamp with texture on it. We sell lots here at Scottie Crafts. I love the cogs ones and the leaves, and the La Blanche stamps will work just as well. It has to be rubber or silicone.
Yes, so don't use your clear stamps,
ladies. Don't use clear stamps, no.
Only your red rubber ones and the silicone La Blanche ones.
Because they'll withstand the heat.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've just about got this to a molten point, so that I can tip it out in a little puddle. Love the little stand on that heat gun. Now we're going to pour it out. Whoops, it's still a little bit hard, I think. But I'll get enough to put a heart in here. I'll move it around a bit. Scrape it all out. So you do get a little bit of time to work with it. And this is how I made the little heart. So once you get it out of your container, don't chuck that away. Then you just sit a cookie cutter on it and let it cool. I have missed the top part of the heart because I had a little lump there that wasn't quite melted. So then once that's cooled, this one's going to be yellow because I coloured it with the alcohol inks. This is what you'll get. So it's got the texture on it. This is now ready for painting, and then I can use all the rubber, like the distress paints, to rub over the top to create my embellishment for my page.
Yeah, then
or a jewellery piece.
That's right. Actually, that would look rather lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So easy. So many ideas and things that you can do with it. So I think my favourite is the bezels and the flowers, actually. I just think they're stunning.
Yeah. I'm quite keen on doing these because, of course, Pinky Sil's my favourite stuff in the whole world.
Is that because it's pink, Adrian?
That must be. So I'm keen on that. But, you know, anything that you can play with and make different things and push yourself out of your comfort zone's got to be good.
I'm just breaking away the excess on here now just to show you. So the cookie cutter's done its work. All these bits put back in your pot because you can reuse them.
Oh, yes, good idea.
And if you don't like the colour, paint it black. So I did miss little bits of the heart, but you can see if you get the puddle in the right place, you'll get a perfectly formed heart.
And then you could just highlight the texture on it with a little bit of perfect pearls or something, or the paints.
Yep.
So cool, Wendy. Just gorgeous. Absolutely love that. So, ladies, don't forget UTEE this weekend with everything and anything. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.